Okay, Bruno, let's check out your work. It's
My
beautiful.
work.
It's beautiful Google
Thank you.
document. I love
This
it.
is my
Like,
passion.
yeah, I see. Like, you put effort in it because we got both colors, which orange and yellow. I will choose different colors probably.
I was thinking of using colors to eventually, make tiers.
Hmm.
Like if you see now, like I would make tiers like this.
Hmm.
But this is
Oh,
for another time.
okay. So you wanted to place like players into tiers, right?
Yeah,
Tiers.
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get that far yet. I'll do it, you know,
Hmm.
to prepare eventually for doing player cards for KeenCon.
Oh, yeah. That's also interesting. Does it take a lot of time to make like cards? Like the whole like preparing like like getting the data and statistics and deciding like that's taking the most time, right? But then like
Yeah.
producing cards, is it like easy or it's difficult or?
Well, I usually get vengeuR to do the design, so I don't have to worry about that. He
Mhm.
does the design in like 20 minutes. vengeuR is a surprisingly good
Yeah,
graphic designer.
he
He's
is. He
actually
is.
amazing at
Mhm.
it. And
I
I just fetch the data, and the rating part is what probably takes the most time because it's not only my opinion. I try to ask everyone around,
I
all of the
know.
players,
And
and it takes a while.
it's super difficult because you ask me and like I absolutely have no idea how to like rate
Yeah,
those players because like it's like you got some kind of idea and some kind of base, but then you got like you did like five, six, 8 players, and then you got another player who's like basically destroying your thoughts like of what you thought previously because
yeah,
like it changes your mind and you have to do it all over again. Like it's super like difficult.
yeah. That's why I try to take like my perception of things is only like a percentage of what goes in, and then I take everyone else's as like everyone I ask like takes 5% of the weight, and I just
Hmm.
make an average based on that. So it's
Hmm.
not only me being the culprit.
Hmm. Okay, so you managed to figure out 17 teams.
Yeah, 17 potential teams.
17 team is Chenzo and Faye.
They've been screaming together. I don't know if they have any intention of actually teaming up or not, but they've been screaming together.
Uh, I don't know who Faye is, but shout out to Pete for like choosing the best game. He will know what I'm talking about. But still, I
He's
don't know.
Amadeus, man. He got he won Nations Cup with Serious.
I didn't know. I honestly didn't know this guy. Like I never heard of this guy. It's
I
so
mean, I
it's the
might
same.
just change the name. Amadeus. There.
Okay, so it's same player, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is similar to the player I was playing Sacrifice with Deuce. So
With
it's
Deus?
yeah, Deuce.
Oh,
You
yeah. But
remember
this guy
Deuce?
aims.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe
Deus is amazing.
maybe it's Deuce on fake.
I don't think so.
He just practiced some aim and his aim
Yeah.
deuce. Anyway, okay. And players, we got okay, we got oh my god, you got 40 players. Why Twitch is
Damn.
last?
It's just NA.
Only.
NA,
Jeez.
dude.
And I
I
and
apologize, but he's NA.
and I do. He's our team coach. He whenever we play with Kron, he gives us the best advices like play
Nice.
play Sorlak or something like this. I really like Qbert as I mentioned before, like ranked Goblin. I think he's Russian dude, by the way. Oh,
I don't know where he's
s-
from.
uh, I don't know if I ever mentioned that, but I think KeenCon is open for like CIS players, right? For Russians
Yep.
and Belarusians.
And I don't
So
think there should be a problem for them to go to LAN.
I think it's gonna be like quite pricey. I don't think they got like
Yeah.
straight flights from like Russia, for example, to Spain. I think they have to go through some like country like Turkey or Dubai or like those kind of countries. So
Probably.
it means it's gonna cost a lot of money to go there.
That
Um,
reminds me, and Tochka was asking me a couple of days ago,
mhm,
what happens if he decides to play with someone else the first couple of tournaments? Because I think Stone is not going to be playing the first tournament. And
mhm.
I told him, well, it's a new team basically. You just lose the points.
Yeah. Are you sure of that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
That's what
as
Antotka
we
said.
said before, that's why it's super good idea to have like this last week where you have like 8 teams, like 8 additional teams, like uh, being able to qualify to the LAN, so you can still like change the teammate and still
Yeah.
qualify, right?
Yep. Completely.
Okay, I see
Imagine
that.
if toxjq plays half the tournaments with two different teammates and he still gets enough points with both to qualify both teams to the LAN.
Roof, man. And they end up in the same bracket and throw.
Yeah, unlucky.
Because Antoshka probably wants to play with base and stone, right?
Yeah.
And or no, base actually should play
I
with
have base
ZenAku,
with
right?
ZenAku, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've been screaming together. I have a question mark there because I don't know if that's going to end up happening, but
Hmm.
they have been screaming together and they have been doing well.
I think they should stick to that team and Antoshka playing with Stone. It should be good. They also doing super good like together.
Yeah. They've been playing
Uh,
together for so long now.
I see Sparty talks like as the
I
same
don't know if
team.
that's going to be a team. I mean, I have question mark because I've seen them screaming
Yeah,
together,
I have
but
extremely big doubts that it's gonna be
yeah,
the team. But okay, so if Tox not gonna play with Sparty, and then Tox decides that he wants to play KeenCon because we don't know if he even wants to play the league,
yeah.
I think then ZenAku will try to play with Tox.
Yes, definitely, because
Because
they were teammates and they did really well in the last 2v2 tournament.
and Tox is just extremely good 2v2 player, like especially nowadays. I think he improved in 2v2 because he's like more aware. He has like better timing than he had like
Yeah,
previously. So I think like a lot of people would like to play with Tox.
I agree. He
I
used
think
to be the best 1v2 player, but now he's delving into the 2v2 realm as well.
mhm. I think even Hron asked him to play together, and then like Tox said that he doesn't really feel like playing it. So I don't know. It's weird, you know, because he still messages us from time to time to play like some practice 2v2 games, and
And
then
in the same day
and
of
then he
the
doesn't
last cup,
participate in tournaments because he
yeah,
just
in the
doesn't
same
want
day
to.
of last cup, he was streaming 2v2 scrims
Yep.
instead of
Yeah.
just playing the tournament.
Yeah.
I think if this team ends up happening, they probably won't play the online league, but
Mhm.
they will play the last qualifier.
You mean who Tox and Zen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tox and Sparty. If it happens, they'll just
Tox
play
and
the last
Sparta.
qualifier and not the league at all.
And just go for vacation.
Yeah,
Especially that KeenCon is giving another like 250 like
yeah,
reimbursement for the flights. So for Swedes, like the lack of sun, the lack of vitamin D, I think
they need it.
they just should try to qualify as last team and just go and have fun. Although like it's gonna be same date as it was like this year, so it's autumn, right? It wasn't already that like warm, but it was still like good weather. Definitely
Yeah.
better weather than in Poland because like it was extremely cold. Like it was very cold here, and then I remember I flew to Spain and it was quite nice. Um, I'm curious like what's gonna happen with vengeuR because we already discussed it in the previous video on ranking system. Like Razy decided to not play rankings at all, and he just keeps playing like Quake 3, like he's just doing this speed run, like 3 games.
I see
And
them play ranked sometimes, but like vengeuR will do 10 games and Razy will do 3.
but Razy doesn't even exist in this leaderboard. He was
Oh, he
nowhere.
is. He is. He's not that far behind vengeuR actually. It's like he's
Okay,
11th place. He's somehow 11th place.
then I missed him somehow. Doesn't matter, but still, like I think it's vengeuR who will try to like go for it
Yeah, probably.
eventually. Uh, RMV Dramis, what do you think about that team? I think it's super interesting because both are super fast. They playing like
Yeah.
fast champions. They are super unorthodox players. Like they hit a lot and the ping difference factor. I think it's also good if you got like one NA player, one EU player. It kind of mess up with your opponent's first of all servers, like
Completely.
registering and everything.
And
So
dramis is, if he's the one on high ping, he's a menace because the guy just runs at you with rail, close
mhm.
range, and
And
because of like
hits,
the way
hits.
netcode works, he hits,
Yeah,
and before you can react, he's already hit two rails, and you're mad that you're dying to someone that's using rail on close range, and he
yeah,
gets away with it.
yeah.
On land, the style doesn't seem to work that well, but online,
Mhm.
it's a menace.
Because both RMV and Dramis are signed for DBE now, right?
I don't think dramis is because I think they dropped him after a Quake Pro League was cancelled.
Hmm.
So if they do end up teaming up, he'll probably sign for DB again.
Are you sure? I think I've seen him with DBE nickname.
Now he's not using it, I'm sure.
He's not. All right.
No.
Yeah. Still, I think if they qualify, he probably gonna get signed by
Yeah.
DBE again because RMV is signed now. Mm,
Yeah.
okay. Uh, let me check something. Yeah, there's many like interesting teams. I think one of the teams who gonna be super strong is gonna be Keltz and Serious. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking how Kelt's gonna like play when they qualify on one, because I think on QuakeCon he was like he wasn't playing. I remember we were watching it and some people were surprised because like he wasn't playing as good as he was online.
I think it still did great online.
He did, but there was like many players just didn't go there. First of all, and second of all, I think he was struggling. Did he lost his first game against someone, but I don't remember
He
who.
was in Dramis and Bukster's group, I think, right?
Didn't he
And
actually lose to Bukster
I think the first game he lost to Bukster, yeah, 2-1, but then he beat Keltz. But then he beat Dramis and he actually went through the
through the
group.
groups? Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And then
right. Still,
I'm looking at the bracket now, and then he had a very close game versus vengeuR in playoffs, and then he lost to Bukster again in lower bracket.
lol. Okay, so you see the bracket on QuakeCon wasn't quite like top tier, you know. If you look into the good old days of Quake champions, where you had to face, for example, I
Like
remember all,
everyone.
all the QuakeCons I was facing
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cooler, or I was like
Yeah.
facing Cypher, or something like this, and then you got Rapha, and then you got Razy, and then vengeuR, and then Kells plays like two times bukster,
Yeah. I mean,
and gets
Effortless and
and
Sunny were in the same group, and they
and gets
played each
top
other in the
eight or
lower bracket.
and gets top eight or something. Ridiculous.
Yep.
Anyway, I think 2v2 is gonna be super interesting duo.
Hmm.
Like they both hitting a lot.
Yeah.
Uh,
Kelt is surprisingly good at team games. I guess that comes from his Overwatch days. He communicates a lot. He
mhm,
knows how to support. He also times very well, and he's a good complement to Sirius because Sirius is a camper, right?
mhm,
He just hits a lot in these on 3 or 4 positions on the map, and then Kelt goes around with movement
mhm.
champions, getting items and giving calls. I think
Plus,
it works really well.
plus Keltz doesn't really seem like he's like tilting type of player, or like if nerves get to him and he's like, it's always good to like to have this vibe in team. Like you got like that's what I like about Kilsen, that he never shows that he's angry or like negative. Like he's always optimistic. I think long term is better to have someone
Yeah,
like this, because I think the vibes go from player to player, and then you kind of feel the vibe, and it can bring your like teammate down unless you both know each other really well, and like Kron plays with me and I tilt sometimes, and I know I can tilt with Kron because he knows me. And same like when I was playing with Cypher, Cypher can tilt next to me, and I just know it's like nothing really personal in the end of the day, and
yeah.
he's just the way it is. He's just gonna, play against someone and he will shit talk the fuck out of the enemy, And then
I
after the
feel you.
game,
As someone that has played with Sirius a lot, I know exactly what it's like.
after the game, everything's cool. So, you know, I think so. So I think Keltz is this type of the guy. I
Yeah,
think I never really spoke with him or like played, but he seems like this. Like he's not really gonna tilt or like be negative or like whine or something like this. So I think that's a good positive thing.
probably, yeah.
And I think they played some like tournament and they took second place. I think, which was
Uh,
one of the Estotis, or like there was
yeah.
some tournament like this. I think.
Right.
Or
I
Vaxi,
I
wasn't it
forgot
Vaxi?
everything. I think it might have been Vaxi.
Vaxi.
They got third place in Vaxi. So final, it was Myztro Gaming in first, ZenAku Talks on second,
Ah,
and they
yeah,
got third.
yeah.
They
Still,
actually went to the upper bracket final, but
yeah,
then
yeah.
they lost to Myztro in the lower bracket final.
Before everything like started, for me, the huge favorites were like vengeuR Razy, and now it's slowly
Hmm.
changing. I don't know why. Like just in my mind, it's a bit changed because they don't really practice. But whenever they
They
played, like you remember, like whole 2022, I think, and
they
2023,
won all the tournaments.
they were winning every single
Yeah,
2v2
but
tournament.
I told this to vengeuR a lot of times. You guys are winning all the tournaments, but there is literally no teams practicing. Like there are no serious 2v2 teams. As soon as there is competition, you guys have to practice or you will start fall behind.
Hmm.
And you saw that already in the first tournament. They fell behind really fast in the
Hmm.
I think they lost like the second game. Yeah, they lost the second game versus Ice Climbers versus ZenAku Talks, and then they had to go through the lower bracket to win the final in the end. And in the second tournament, there was the last tournament that there was, some story. They actually rage quitted the tournament.
Ah, yeah. They played the last Stoti, and
Yeah,
they
they
played
rage quitted
against
after playing versus Rapha Dramis
Dramis someone. Yeah, Dramis Rapha. Yeah, yeah.
because they
Interesting.
didn't want to play versus High Pink.
Hmm. Okay, so both of them are playing for Maestro, right? And then we got
Yeah,
like Garpy is also Maestro and ZenAku is Maestro. I'm
yeah,
curious, is ZenAku still in Maestro, by the way?
I assume so.
Hmm.
I wonder if they're gonna get base as well to have two Myztro teams, or if they're gonna get bukster to have three Myztro teams,
Are they gonna get rid of ZenAku?
or
And ZenAku gonna play
wow,
for Estoti.
oh,
Estoti ZenAku, Estoti base.
that
Estoti
could be fun too.
Estoti Antoshka, Estoti Stone. That would be cool too.
Study bukster, no, it's study Garpy and it's study bukster too.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Estoti Razy and Estoti vengeuR. That will be dope. Yeah. I wish Clawz played like throughout whole season with silencep. This
Yeah,
guy is like extremely talented, and it's like just like the whole show he will put out to people, like his mechanics, like skills and everything. It will be super cool. I think people love to watch like great aimers because it's like it's like ASMR basically. It's so
yeah.
chilling to watch like the guy who just like hitting like very smoothly, like hit tracking good, and he's like LG is great. I think that's ASMR basically, and you chilling. That's why people love to watch Dogs. He doesn't really speak. He just chilly.
Doesn't have to. He entertains with his aim.
Yeah, they don't even want him to speak. They just want to watch him like play. And then from time to time you hear something like and that's it. And it's and
Do you
it's
realize he actually has his microphone out the whole time? He
yeah,
just doesn't make a sound.
yeah, and then it's even more ASMR. You just like got a guy who's hitting 80% LG and and it's great. Clearing his throat like casually. Easy. I think in the past Toxic didn't really want to play with Sparty. I think because of Sparty personality, like he was like super loud and like I think Tox is more chilled and Sparty is more like crazy.
Yeah. Did you actually watch them scream together?
I didn't watch them.
They
I
they were
seen them play.
communicating in Swedish. I've never heard Toxic speak so much.
Mhm.
Like you say that he doesn't speak, but in Swedish he was making so many calls. I was like surprised. This is not the Toxic
Yeah,
we know. This is the Swedish Toxic.
yeah. Because it's easier. It's much easier.
Yeah.
I think especially for Tox. I don't think Tox plays like a lot of games. He doesn't really hang out a lot or socialize with other players. So I think he doesn't really have this habit of speaking English because like
Yeah.
on daily basis he speaks Swedish. Like for us, let's say we just like, we live in different countries, but every day we speak with someone on Discord or we play some 2v2 or we watch
Yeah.
some things on YouTube in English or like, I don't think Tox does that.
Yeah. I don't think
And
Toxic speaks with other people.
and even if you are used to like even if you are used to speak English, like when there is a heat of moment and you're trying to like say something to your teammate, you sometimes gonna stutter because it's just you're not forced like
Yeah.
language. It's not your native language, so it's much easier for him. I think that's the big advantage of Antoshka Stone. They can like clearly and smoothly communicate. And jumping from that, like did you watch ZenAku base like
Yeah. Man.
comes.
I,
Base
I
got
love.
so much
I
better at English, man.
Yes, like Baze is like
He can
he's very
time.
knowledgeable at the game, and you can tell he really wants to do IGL. He still doesn't have all the grammar there he wants to have, but
Yeah.
he's making all of the calls. And
All the
with like
important calls.
yes,
Sometimes I was laughing, dude. I was laughing so hard. I was watching Base stream, and he seen ZenAku going somewhere, taking heavy, and ZenAku didn't say shit. And Base is like, you took heavy, and then ZenAku is like, yeah, sorry, it's like 45 or something like that, So he just like tries to communicate, and it's super good. It's much
yeah,
better than it was with vengeuR when he was like,
but it's completely different dynamic for like ZenAku, right? Because with Toxic he was the one doing the calls,
mhm.
and with Baze is the one doing all the calls, and ZenAku is only speaking like to say timings now.
Yeah, yeah.
I really like how Baze is communicating. Even if he doesn't have like really good English, he's trying really
Mhm.
hard, and you can tell that the calls he's making are very good calls just
Yeah,
because
and
of his knowledge of the game.
it's like important to do like the most important is like to say what is like necessary. For example, like Cooler used to say like the only things you need to say in 2v2 is like timings, what you're doing, and where is the enemy. Like, and basically that's it. Because then you only got like 2-3 moments in the game where let's say it's like I don't know, 14 minute, 30 second, and then it's like you leading by one frag, and you actually need to make like some proper call. Like, dude,
Yeah,
let's get this mega at like 40. We're gonna go through the jump pad, rush through the LG. I'm gonna try to cut them
yeah,
off on machine gun or something like this, and you rush through them, you know, and I
exactly.
or something like this. This is the most important moment where you need to actually talk with someone. And
Yeah,
like other than that, you're just saying timings, you're just saying what you guys doing if you are so you are on the same page or what you are doing you are like considering you are going you are like and where is the enemy and basically that's
yeah,
it. Sometimes I don't even like comms like I think with face it's like it's very common like majority of his comms are like I railed him, this guy he's railed, I railed him, railed again, railed, railed. You don't know who, you don't know where. It's like absolutely like useless info, And it's like because those are the habits, and you need to get rid of those habits. It's
yeah.
like it's better if there is some kind of silence than there is like some useless like comms, basically. So I think for base, like this limited English might even make him better caller because he's saying important things, and it's super cool to watch him like do that.
I agree, and it's nice that you bring that cooler thing up because I think that stems a lot from the fact that 2v2 in Quake Champions doesn't really play. Is not as dynamic as 4v4 TDM was in Quake Live, for instance.
Hmm.
Like in Quake Live, I think 2v2 in Quake Champions kind of plays like 4v4 TDM in like Hidden Fortress, in the M20,
Hmm.
where it's
Hmm.
like almost always a cess state. You're always rushing an item. You're always
Yeah,
going in,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you very rarely have a dynamic shift.
Because it's like it's very difficult to win in Quake Champions without like rushing items,
Yeah.
basically. Um, and this is also very funny because I remember when Rapha and DaHanG were on top, and
Hmm.
basically their game was super easy. Both of
They go
them,
items.
they both of them rushing items to the
Yeah.
second. You got two guys who time perfectly because DaHanG wasn't like the best player out of all, let's say, but his like big advantage was that he was hitting good and his timing in Quake Live, in Quake 4, in Quake 3, and in Quake Champions was always on point. So you had two guys with timing always on point, and they were on the same page. And in the heat of the moment, they both were like native English speakers. So like it
Yeah.
was,
And they both had amazing movement.
they had like all the tools basically to win. But then like there was some game I think Cooler was playing with someone who also rushed items like crazy, and I seen Rafa and DaHanG, they were raging. They were raging like, what the hell are they doing? Why they rush so hard? Because they were dying on item. So they were getting angry that they dying on item because other team is also on an item. So it's like, this kind of absurd situation where
Yeah.
both teams are dying and one team just doesn't realize because they are dying because the other team is doing exactly the same what they're doing. That's why they kind of, clashing. So we didn't have such team.
Not really. I think the closest to that is like Untouched Against Stone now.
Yeah, yeah. This is what I wanted to say, and also because they speaking like Russian and they can
Yeah.
so yeah, comms are I think easy and they can't be overfought. Like you got some guys like Rafa whose like comms are like way better than everyone else because
Hmm.
somehow even if he speaks a lot and like constantly he doesn't necessarily like speak like useless info.
Yeah,
He's
he doesn't overspeak.
Yeah, he always gives like important info, and he's able to manage his teammate because of great comms and because he like natively speaks English, so he can like tell his teammate what exactly the teammate needs to do. And I think it takes like much less effort from Rafa than it will take, from example, from Kilson, right? Who is not native English speaker,
Yeah.
and his comms are not really the best like side of his game style.
Yeah, but Raph has played team games all his life. Kilson only now starting to play team modes pretty much.
Yep, yep. He played some Overwatch, but he never played it competitively. He
Not yeah,
never,
not competitive like Rapha.
yeah, he never played it for any team. He just like grind rankeds where you just like, press like
And even before that,
press key
I
to
don't remember
talk,
Kilson
press key to
was
talk,
Kilson.
and you say switch Genji
Yeah,
noob.
I don't think Kilson played CTF or TDM much in Quake Live either, like Rapha did.
No, no. Yeah, Rafa played also great CTF. Like
Yep,
he played great TDM, great CTF, like 2v2, then Overwatch, then like, Quake Champion Sacrifice also very good.
yep,
Then 2v2, like winning everything. So yeah, he basically have as much experience in 1v1 as he has in 4v4 or like 2v2. Same for me. From the very beginning I was playing team modes. Like if my comp's never gonna be as good as Rafa or like, micromanaging my teammate or anything like that, but I think I would like obviously also do a little bit better if I was speaking like only Polish or like stuff like that. But it's like even when we played with Face, I was like, I don't think we should speak Polish because it's just only one tournament or like one game, and like it doesn't really matter because then we back to our regular teams and we're gonna keep speaking in English. So it seems like in Quake Champions, you don't really have occasion to speak in your native language.
yeah. Like the only teams that speak their native language are American teams
And Russian teams.
and Russian teams. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Because there is not enough player in Europe or like, they
I guess Spanish teams now if they team up.
yeah, but Maxter will have to kind of like, or like Latin American, not Spanish, but Maxter will have to like team up with Yop, for example, to be able to speak same
I'll say it
language.
right now. Max's Spanish is even worse than his English.
No way.
Yeah, man, I speak Spanish and English fluently. I cannot understand him in either.
Jeez. How does he live in Barcelona then?
It's his accent, man. His South American accent makes it impossible to understand unless I'm really focused.
Jesus. You said same about Nosfa, right? That he can't
Yeah,
speak
Nosfa doesn't
Portuguese.
speak Portuguese. He speaks Brazilian, so it's different.
Oh my God. How did you learn like Spanish?
I lived in Spain for like 7 years.
When you were young or
Yeah, from like 15 to 22 or something.
but you were like at school there or like
Yeah, I was studying there. I finished university there.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah,
Okay, so that's why. That's why
yeah.
I never knew like you speak Spanish until I saw you cast in Spanish at some
Spanish.
KeenCon. And I think I told it to someone like I think I told it to Cronen or someone else and he couldn't believe that you speak Spanish and I was like, dude,
What the
he was
hell?
he was casting in Spanish like at some KeenCon. Maybe I'm not sure if that was this one or
Oh, no,
this
it
one
was the
and
first one.
or
I also
previous one.
casted this one, yeah. I
Yeah.
also did a couple of games in Spanish in this one.
Yeah, so you see, Ron, he speaks Spanish perfectly. Better than Maxter.
Not really hard.
Okay. Mm, what else? Did we miss someone? We didn't say anything about bukster Garpy, but that's super old school team. They never
Yeah.
change. Like
Like I
they playing very ABC game. It's like super
yeah.
like one tempo. Like there is never like some aggressive pushes. Like you got like RMV dramis, and it's gonna be crazy at some point. Like with them, it's like more steady tempo.
Yeah, I think that team loses a lot of power if Garpy isn't on Anarchy, because Garpy on Anarchy, they can beat any team if he's on Anarchy, because
Yeah,
he's a master of that champion.
yeah. The bans are also important. Does KeenCon have like one or two bans per team?
I think it's just one.
It's just one. Do you like
Yeah.
one or two better?
I don't know. I'm fine with both. Like I don't have a really big champion pool, so I just play the VK3
Yeah,
champion.
yeah.
But I think two bans is more interesting.
Mhm. I
Because if
hope,
you go versus someone that only plays like two champions, they play them very well, you can completely negate them, and it
yeah,
forces people to actually have to learn more champions.
yeah. I hope festiveturtle gonna carry Twitch.
She's playing very well. I've been watching her stream. Her comms are amazing. She's hitting really well as well.
She's always played super well. I remember she also played like this 2v2 like year like 2018 with someone and she was doing quite good. I think That's the
Yes, she
team.
beat me and vengeuR online.
Yeah, that's the team I wanted to say. vengeuR lost to. Who
We
was she
lost
playing with? Psyjip?
with Sagi.
Ah, okay.
And
Crazy.
they beat us. We beat them by like 20 frags outside of stream, and then
Hmm.
the stream came, and that was vengeuR's first landing. Though he was a kid, he got very nervous. He couldn't move on camera, and we
Okay.
lost. Unlucky.
I think
I'm
Festive
forever
Turtle.
gonna hold a grudge.
I'm not sure. I had an idea in like when I was starting those podcasts with pro players, like in the beginning. I
Hmm.
had an idea to do like the version of that with like female players only, and like get like the best female players and like do the podcast with them. Like at some point, I just abandoned that idea. I don't know why, but like maybe I'm gonna come back to it. But now I'm thinking about the in general the girls and female scene, and when I'm thinking about the level of playing.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like Festive is like actually like if we're talking about like playing like competitively, I think
Hmm.
she's the best at Quake. Because like
She's
you
probably the only one that has competed in a
yeah,
LAN.
who competed and played actually against pros because it's different when you have a girl who just like queues to FFA or like Unholy Trinity and then
Yeah.
she's hitting a lot and it's like cool and it's like nice on stream. But it's completely different story when you got this girl like get to the team and actually play against two pro players. It's
Yeah, I
like,
mean, you have Zenzen on Quake Live, but she doesn't really play tournaments. She sometimes will play 125 PS,
who?
but most Zenzen in
Yeah,
Quake Live,
this
she has.
this is another fucking story,
Yeah,
I think. I already heard so many stories about it. Like it's like you don't even know if it's legit a girl. I wouldn't even consider such players.
well, I don't think she ever attended LANs or like serious
Yeah.
tournaments. So
So for example, if I would ask Festive like to do the podcast, she would like probably join with webcam because we already saw her on LAN, we spoke with her, like everything is okay. And if I would like ask Zanzan or Zanzan
I
or
don't think she would
whatever,
give a crap about it.
of course, then or she will join without webcam and she will say hello or like
That's good.
I don't know, man. Like you know what I
I mean,
mean? It's like
I've spoken to Zenzen on TeamSpeak and stuff when we made her play like pickups and stuff, and I mean,
okay,
pretty sure she's a girl, but she's not really that competitive. Like she will grind. She's been streaming Quake Live Duel. She's at a really high level, but
all
she
right,
doesn't really seem to have the competitive desire to
okay.
play on lands or anything. Like I don't think she ever installed Quake Champions.
Hmm.
And if there was a LAN for Quake Live, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't attend.
Yeah. So that's my another idea to the podcast with like female. But as far as I'm thinking, like Festive was the girl who did the best impression
Yeah,
on me, like how she plays and because she hits well. She
yeah,
like
she hits
she
well.
has
She understands the
good
fundamentals.
mechanics and yeah, yeah,
Good comms.
yeah,
Yeah, she's really really good.
yeah. Anyway, did we miss something here?
I don't know. I mean, we managed to get 17 teams, four of which we're not sure they're
Hmm.
gonna play.
Hmm.
But yeah,
How you doing with Anarki? Do you like to play with them?
I like playing with enesy because like he's always available. We have a lot of availability,
Hmm.
and he doesn't really whine much. But we've been hitting a lot of walls, you know, because
He
he
re
doesn't really have much TDM experience.
But he really reminds me of Keltz with his playing style. Like it's very similar for me how Keltz playing.
Hmm.
Enesy is just not far away off from him, I think. It's
Yeah,
just like as you said, I think Enesy will have more problem communicating because already when I did like some podcasts with him, I realized that he just doesn't really speak much,
you know,
or
when I
he
was
does.
if you didn't really play Diabolical, but there would be times like when it was during the 3v3, it was the team was him, Pulse, and Cook,
Hmm.
and sometimes we would be playing versus them, and the comms would go on R, on
Hmm.
me series and Memphis channel,
Hmm.
and it would be we would be talking, oh they're there, we're gonna hit them, let's go, and then they would switch to Pulse, Enesy, and Cook comp, and to be like no sounds for
Yeah,
2 minutes.
yeah, 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 yeah.
No one speaks.
Hmm. Do
I
you guys
played with them sometimes, and it was only me speaking for 1 hour.
Yeah. Do you guys try to actively, for example, improve? Because you already established that you're gonna play with him, right? You decided that you guys gonna play together, right?
we're gonna at least play this story together because right now, like we've played a lot with you and Haran for like a year, but we've
Mhm.
never tried to improve. It was just playing to have fun.
That's
And
what I'm
now that we're
saying. Yeah, that's what
yeah,
I'm
now we're
saying. If you
trying to improve. We're actually, getting somewhere. Because the biggest, like our biggest flaws is basically me not hitting shots and him not having the best communication. Because like
Mhm,
he hits a lot, right?
mhm, mhm,
He has one of the best aims I've ever seen. But sometimes he goes for the fights. He doesn't say that he's on a fight.
mhm,
And as soon as he dies, he say, "Oh, I'm versus two," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm on the other side of the map. I'm nowhere close to fighting."
mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
if we can work our problems out, I think we can be very good.
Yeah,
But
I
we've
think
been
that's
hitting some walls.
that's the thing. Like you got teams who are just like for now playing for fun, and then when
Yeah,
you actively try to like improve, for example, discuss like what is the problem and like how to improve comms and stuff like this, then that's the time when it gets better at some point.
yeah, and depends on some people because I've played with some people that weren't that interested in like taking criticism or improving,
Hmm.
but every time after every game, Enesy tells me what do I need to do,
Hmm.
how do I get better. Like we've watched so many VODs. I had no idea there
Hmm.
was someone as passionate for watching VODs as the 2Z guys
Hmm.
as Enesy is. Enesy just he will watch VODs for 5 hours straight and make
That's
notes.
nice. That's nice.
It's very good.
That's super good. Yeah. Anyway, that's it, I think.
Yeah,
That's it. Great work again
thank you. I'm
with
amazing at
with
spreadsheets.
creating teams. Like I wouldn't figure out those teams probably. Like
I just
Baxter
ask
Baxter
everyone.
Rappi, who would expect?
Yeah,
Anyway,
figure Razy, what?
yeah, what? That's a joke, man. Anyway, thank you, Bruno, and smash that button, guys. Subscribe, like,
Chef that like button.
yeah, let us know what you think about us. And that's it, and see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.